Something sinister has emerged in the once bright and sunny fields of Smallville. A villain of immense power has surfaced. A veritable giant with an insatiable hunger for destruction. But this isn't just any ordinary megalomaniac with dreams of world domination. No, this villain has a personal score to settle, and he goes by the name of Jesse, aka Repo Man. Jesse was once a weakling, scorned and dismissed by society until he was bestowed with incredible powers by none other than Gog. Now with his newfound abilities, Jesse's agenda is simple: to exact revenge on those who have wronged him. As the citizens of Smallville cower in fear, only one question remains. Can Superman stop this unstoppable force before it's too late? Join us as we witness an epic battle between our beloved Kryptonian and his most formidable foe yet. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Repo Man? Jesse was a scrawny and unassuming lot tender attendant at We Tow You Collection Company, who often found himself at the receiving end of bullying. He aspired to become a Repo Man soon, someday, but his boss denied him. The Repo Man's job promised to grant Jesse power over others. Sadly, his boss denied him the opportunity, reasoning that Jesse's physique did not exude the necessary intimidation factor. Moreover, he feared that Jesse might misuse the position to cause suffering to others. Jesse's hopes seemed dashed until a mysterious, godlike man appeared. The stranger carried a large golden crystal, later turned out to be gold kryptonite, that takes away any Kryptonian powers permanently. Although this was a customized version of the crystal, as it only took away Superboy's powers temporarily. The gold kryptonite transformed him into the formidable beast that we know as the Repo Man. Let there be a change. The Repo Man was not to be trifled with, possessing powers that surpassed human comprehension. With a single punch, he sent Superman flying miles away, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. The Repo Man's strength was unparalleled, allowing him to manhandle Connor Kent and handle blows from Superman without even breaking a sweat. We'll talk in detail about this fight in the next section. His durability was equally astounding, making him virtually impervious to attacks that would otherwise level a city block. But perhaps the most startling part of Repo Man's powers was the ability to transform his body to massive proportions. The Repo Man possessed a unique power that allowed him to transform into a giant, easily towering over his foes. He could grow to staggering heights, dwarfing buildings and anything else in his path. At his largest, he was an unstoppable force, able to crush cars and demolish buildings with ease. His physique was so colossal that even the Incredible Hulk would be envious of his size and strength. However, with any superhuman entity, the Repo Man had his weaknesses. One glaring weakness that proved to be his Achilles heel, and which we will explore more in detail later. Repo Man and Superman, the first dance. It was Christmas Day in Smallville when Jesse arrived at the Kent farm, a newly empowered agent of Gog and a freshly minted Repo Man. He had been directed to go there by his master, who had a specific task for him to carry out. Jesse was there to repossess Jonathan Kent's truck, but in reality, his true intention was to engage in a confrontation with Superman. Jesse had a constant sense of being cheated by life, and the bullying he faced from his peers only exacerbated his bitterness. As Jesse arrived at the Kent farm, he was confronted by Connor Kent, who tried to stop him from taking the truck. But Jesse was not to be deterred. He underwent a stunning transformation and became the Repo Man, causing his slender physique to balloon with rapidly growing muscles, doubling the size compared to Connor. His eyes shimmered with a fierce golden hue, and his body was surging with an alarming level of strength. As Connor watched in shock, Repo Man punched him through the Kent farmhouse, sending debris flying in all directions. As predicted by Gog, Superman arrived on the scene and attacked Repo Man with several powerful blows. To everyone's surprise, Repo Man barely flinched and even seemed to enjoy the experience. Suddenly, Repo Man underwent another incredible growth spurt, becoming even larger and more muscular than before. As he towered over Superman like a colossal titan, Repo Man unleashed his massive strength and delivered a devastating blow that sent the Man of Steel hurtling across the state line and all the way to St. Louis, Missouri. The impact was felt for miles around, shaking buildings and causing car alarms to go off. It was clear that the Repo Man was not to be underestimated, and Superman realized he has met his match. As he struggled to recover from the blow, Superman knew that he had to use all of his powers and wits if he hoped to take down the unstoppable force that was Repo Man. This battle was turning out to be a clash of titans, a test of strength, and a fight for the ages. Round 2. Ding Ding. As the dust cleared from the demolished barn, Repo Man stood amongst the rubble, his towering figure casting a dark shadow over the Kent farm. Euphoria coursed through his veins as he reveled in his newfound power, having easily dispatched the mighty Superman with a single blow. In his eyes, nothing and no one could stand in his way. But then Superboy, determined to defend his home and family, charged at Repo Man with all his might, slamming the colossal giant into the remains of the barn. The earth trembled beneath their feet as the structure crumbled around them. Unleashing a primal roar, Repo Man rose from the debris, his fury ablaze. With a vicious snarl, he seized Superboy and hurled him like a rag doll into a nearby tractor, sending metal and machinery flying in all directions. As Jonathan Kent fired his shotgun at the behemoth, Repo Man merely shrugged off the pellets, the bullets bouncing harmlessly off his bulging muscles. With a maniacal glint in his eyes, Repo Man claimed the Kent farm as his own, lifting Jonathan up in his massive hands like a toy. The blood vessel in his neck protruded as he began to twist and pull, relishing in the screams of agony emanating from the farmer. For Repo Man, the joy was in the destruction, in the pain he inflicted on others, and he would stop at nothing. Back with a bang, Kal-El. As Superboy let out a piercing whistle, Krypto sprang into action, lunging at Repo Man with ferocious intensity. The massive titan momentarily shifted his attention, giving Jonathan Kent a chance to escape, but it was Superman's return that spelled Repo Man's doom. With a resounding boom, Kal charged towards Repo Man, crashing into his colossal frame and slamming him down into the ground, creating a massive trench that ran across the farmland. However, Superman's victory was not yet assured. As he rose to deliver the finishing blow, he was surprised to see Repo Man beginning to shrink in size. The once towering figure was quickly losing both his height and his immense muscle. Despite this, Repo Man continued to rage and spout vitriol towards those who had wronged him in the past, insisting that he was now superior to them all. Unfazed by Repo Man's pathetic attempts at grandiosity, Superman watched as the fallen giant slowly dwindled down to his normal size, and then made a futile attempt at claiming ownership over the Kent women, including Superman's own adoptive mother. With a quick flick of his finger, Superman ended the madman's delusions and sent Repo Man plummeting into unconsciousness. Repo Man, from bully victim to Justice League, or not. After the brutal battle, Superman took Repo Man to the Justice League Watchtower for evaluation. The young man was secured to an advanced examination station while Aquaman ran several diagnostic tests. Repo Man regained consciousness, but his body had undergone an uneven transformation, with bulging muscles distributed unevenly across his frame. In a state of delirium, he believed he was being inducted as a new member of the Justice League, claiming that the group was lacking a real man like him. Superman announced that he would transport Repo Man to Star Labs in Metropolis for additional medical attention, hoping to determine the full extent of his physical and mental transformation. What makes Repo Man so powerful? Jesse had never felt powerful in his life until he met Gog. The strange entity's patronage granted him the ability to harness the energy of gold kryptonite. Repo Man's size was not limited to his original stature. He could quickly grow to several times his size, towering over his opponents like a skyscraper. At his maximum height, he stood as tall as the Kent's 3-story farmhouse. An imposing figure struck fear into the hearts of anyone who dared to cross him. Repo Man could also magnify his muscle mass to superhuman proportions, bulging with strength and power that seemed to defy nature itself. Repo Man's body was incredibly durable, able to withstand blows from Superman without so much as flinching. The Man of Steel's attacks only seemed to anger him, and Repo Man barely felt anything as his head was smashed through the ground. He was immune to fire, able to brush off shots from Jonathan Kent's shotgun like they were nothing more than insect bites. Even Krypto's powerful jaws could only manage to break his skin, leaving little more than a scratch. But Repo Man's greatest asset was his superhuman strength. He could exert enough force with a single strike to send Superman flying across states. His power was incredible and he reveled in it, delighting in his ability to dominate anyone who stood in his way. For a time, Repo Man believed that he was invincible and that nothing could stop him. But as his powers grew, so did his arrogance, and his delusion of grandeur led him down a dangerous path. Despite his incredible abilities, Repo Man was still just a man, and his body was not designed to handle such power. As his power began to fade, he shrank back down to his normal size and build, leaving him confused and disoriented. Is Repo Man invincible? Despite Repo Man's incredible power and impressive transformation, his abilities were not without limits. As impressive as his towering size and superhuman strength may have been, he was ultimately unable to sustain his transformed state indefinitely. Repo Man's body could not handle the massive amounts of energy required to maintain his Titan-like form, and as a result, he eventually reverted to his normal size and strength. Although his abilities may have seemed limitless in the heat of the battle, the truth was that Repo Man's transformation was a temporary state. As the energy coursing through his body dissipated, so did his towering size and immense strength. It was a stark reminder that even the most powerful beings had their limits, and that nothing could last forever. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Repo Man from the DC Comics is a unique and intriguing villain with a fascinating backstory and a distinctive set of abilities. Whether you're a die-hard DC fan or simply enjoying exploring the many different corners of the comic book world, the Repo Man is a character that is sure to captivate your imagination. From his early days as a weakling lot attendant to his eventual transformation into a powerful and feared villain, the Repo Man's journey is one that is filled with action, adventure, and unexpected twists and turns. If you liked this video, be sure to check out our amazing content on DC Comics. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!